gone through a whole plethora of anxiety, emotion, depression. What did that do to you when that self-destructed?
I learned a lot of lessons. See, I was a rock star at 22, and a has-been at 24. So that'll teach you a lot in a hurry. So yeah, I learned a lot. I ate a lot of crow. I made a lot of apologies. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot early on to have been to the pretty, not the peak of the highest part of the mountain, but high up on the mountain and then come crashing down. That's an early age to get such a comeuppance and realize that just how blessed we were, and that and had we had the benefit of maturity and the wisdom of age, we would have known not to throw away such a golden situation. Because we thought, oh well, that's no big deal. We can do this, but it wasn't necessarily the case. It was a classic case of the whole being greater than the sum of the parts. Because as the parts split out, none of us, not John in his solo career, not Orleans without John, and even not Orleans reconvened, the three of us with John, we never had the success, the big success that we had in the mid-'70s.
Looking back, I think that all of us, John included, and we all get along great. I mean, it's just so people understand, I mean, being in a band is like being in a marriage, except it's more complicated in some ways. And so, like a marriage, you either work through your problems or you don't. And we've been doing this for 35 years. And, John is welcome to play with the band anytime he wants, and vice versa. So that's where that is now. But I think we would all agree that when John left in '77, it was an incredibly bad idea. And I can tell you, and John could tell you, that he should have called me up to talk about it. I mean, there just wasn't any communication. Now, we were the artists, but we had managers who were extremely experienced, extremely successful, who could have stepped in and said, wait a minute, you guys, I mean, they had experience and wisdom. They didn't say, wait a minute, they could have done that. That's a good manager would have done that. And so that was a big mistake. But the thing about us was, it's not only that we were in a position that people that want to do what we do would give almost anything to be in a position for. It wasn't just that we were in that position right then. It was that was a time and place where, as we can tell, as I feel now, I mean, that's just never going to happen again. It's like, that was the '70s. That's when rock and roll and the club scene and the whole record industry, everything was in a particular way. And so when Lance says you can't recapture that, you rarely get more than one chance to be in that position in any endeavor that you do in your life. Not only that, but the world isn't going to be that way anymore. Look at the record business now. It's a totally different thing. So we could have had, we could have had some help, as Marlon Brando said in On the Waterfront. We could have been a contest. Why didn't you say something? But nobody did, and so that's what we did. And everybody did well. John went off and did No Nukes. Great thing he did, and with all those great artists, and really made a difference. And we went on and we had another hit record. And we're still doing Orleans, and that's terrific. And I know for a fact, I mean, John told me first time I saw him after Love Takes Time was a hit, he was like, man, I'm really glad you guys had a hit. So, we're all happy that everybody did well, but none of us, like Lance said, the whole was greater than the sum of the parts. And when we just blew it up. So there you go.